wonderful first day Shavuot, and you are getting ready for the second day of Shavuot, also Shabbat. Made a mistake this morning. I mentioned that we weren't going to be Zooming, but we do want you to join us. So if you are watching this right now, and you would like to join us in the Zoom room, you can do that by, I didn't write it out in advance, I'm sorry, but I'll give you the Zoom ID number and you can join us, 389-785-237. That is 389-785-237. Just make sure you come in with your name so we know who you are, as well as making sure that the live stream or Facebook Live is not on, because then we're going to hear you in the background. So once more, 389-785-237. And we're going to begin our evening service with the Mincha service on page 289 in Lev Shalem. No, it's not. Sorry, it's not page 2. It's
214.
Thank you very much.
Tehillah Adonai daber pi v'varech kol bosor shem kodsho le'olam va'ed. Va'anachnu nevarech yam yatzeh v'yad olam. Hallelujah.
Page 216. Valetzion.
V'yatah kadosh yishev tehillah Yisrael v'karazel zeh v'yamar kadosh kadosh kadosh. Okay,
we're on.
Somebody asking me a question?
No, it was Barry Cohen letting us know that he was on, or telling Renee.
Can you make me co-host as well, Rabbi?
I don't know, somebody. V'yivdechu v'cha yedei shemecha kilo azafta d'shecha Adonai. Adonai chafetz l'man tzidko yagdil Torah v'yadir.
Chatzi Kaddish, page 217.
Yikirav yikirav shmei rabba b'yom harivar kirtei v'yom lichmalchutei. V'chayachon v'yom echon v'chayet echol beit Yisrael b'agalav isman kariv. V'yimru amen. Yishmei rabba mevarach le'olam l'me'el maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitbar v'yidramam v'yitnasei. Yidadar v'yidalev halal shmei d'kudusha b'rechu. Le'elam mikol b'chata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata damiran v'yalma.
Join us. We rise on page 306 if you are able to, whether you're on Zoom or live stream. Page 306 for the Amidah.
Okay, let's do the Amidah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'lei avoteinu v'imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah El Hagidol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim v'Konei Hakov V'Zecher Chazdei Avot v'Imahot U'Mevigo El Ibnei B'Nehem L'Man Shemo B'Yahava Melech Hoser Fokeinu Moshiach U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Abraham Ufoked Sarah Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechayim Eitim Atah Rav Lehoshia Morid Hatal Mechalkeh Chaim B'Chesed Mechayim Eitim Brachamim Rabim Somech Noflim Rofei Cholim U'Mater Asurim U'Mekayim Emunat Holi Shnei Afar Michamocha Baal Givurot U'Midom Melach Melech Meimid U'Mechayeh U'Matzmiach Yeshua V'Ne'aman Atal Achayot Meitim Baruch Atah Adonai Mechayeh HaMeitim.
Page 308. Nekadesh Shimcha Balam Kashem Shemak Shem Tovishmim Aram.
וקדש את שמך בעולם כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, כך כתוב ביד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ויאמר.
Kadosh, Kadosh, tonight's from
קדוש קדוש קדוש, אדוני צבאות, מלוך הארץ כבודו, ויומתם ברוך יאמרו. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו, ודברי קודשך כתוב לאמור. ימלוך אדוני לעולם אלוהיך, ציון לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גדלך, נצח נצחים, קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד, כי המלך גדול וקדוש אתה, ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Kaddish Shalem is found on page 230.
Okay.
I know, it's a little confusing, the Siddur.
יתקדש וקדש שמי רבו, ויאמר דבר קירתי במלך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי לכל בית ישראל, בעגלו בזמן קריב ויאמרו, אמן. יהי שמי רבו מבורך, לעולם עולם עלמיה, יתברך. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשא בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירון בעלמה ויאמרו אמן. תתקבל צלות ההון ובאות ההון בכל ישראל קודם ובהון דבשמיא ויאמרו אמן. יהי שלום הרבה מן שמיא וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו
Amen. Page 231, Aleinu.
עלינו לשדר את הכל. אנחנו קוראים משחק המורים. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד. ושמו
Mourners and those observing Yortzeit, Kaddish Yatom is on page 232. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah. Ve'alma divrach v'yutei ve'amlich malchutei b'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael Ba'agalau v'zman kariv v'imru amen.
Amen.
Hey Shmei Rabba Mevorach Leolam Omei Amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal Shemei D'Kudusha B'richu. Leila min kol berchata v'shirata tush bechata v'nechamata damiran v'yalma v'imru amen. Yehei Shalom Rabba min Shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Amen.
Oseh Shalom b'imromav hu ya'aseh Shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Whoops. I did not mean to turn off my... Okay. There we go. So once again, I want to give out the Zoom ID for those who want to join us for our evening service. It is 389-785-237. 389-785-237. It's nice to see the Cohens and the Brooks with us. How was your day? Everything is good?
Beseder.
Good. It looks it
Your
was
services were great this morning.
Thank you. A beautiful day. I sat outside for most of the day. I see the Brooks are still taking advantage of this gorgeous weather we have. So with the beauty of the day and the transition into Shabbat, we're going to start with a little bit of a nigun, a song, a melody without words. As long as you're muted, join us. Even if you're not muted, you can join us, but it won't sound as good.
As long as we can't hear you, go ahead and sing out.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Jackie, you're up.
All right, here is a nigun that was written by Nava Tehila in Israel for the month of Sivan. Yai la la la, ya la 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 la, yai la la la, ya la 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 la, yai la la la, ya la 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 la, yai la la la, ya la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la.
Yai, ya la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, yai, ya la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, yai, la 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 la.
So sometimes you may hear some tapping in the background. That's unfortunately me. I don't realize sometimes that I'm tapping when I am unmuted. And Cantor Raffi reminds me from time to time that there's that echo in the background, but nevertheless, I'm not even aware of it. So welcome everybody once again. For those who are just coming in to our service, if you want to join us, the Zoom meeting is 389-785-237. It's nice to see all of you and have you join us together for our service. It's a shorter evening service, Mariv, because we do not do Kabbalat Shabbat. And the reason that we don't do Kabbalat Shabbat is because we are moving from the holiday into the Sabbath, and we don't need the purpose of Kabbalat Shabbat is to get us into the spirit of the sanctity of the seventh day. But because we are already in that mode, given that today was a Yom Tov, we don't have the full Kabbalat Shabbat. But we do start with the Psalm for Shabbat on page 27.
Before we continue, I'm sorry, if you don't, just for security reasons, if you don't have your name on the screen, please go ahead and rename yourself. Your first and last name would be great for us to be able to monitor the room. Thank you.
And we want to say a special hello to Jacob, who's with us.
Hello, Jacob.
Hi, Jacob. Jacob, do you want to lead us in the next prayer? What do you think? Do you want to sing with Cantor Jackie? Oh, Max is with us as well. Hi, Max. All right. So I will watch this Zoom room.
On page 27.
Thank you. Page 27.
Mizmor shir liyom hashabbat, tov lehodod ladonai, uzamer lishimcha elyon, uzamer lishimcha elyon, lehagid baboker chasdecha, ve'emunatcha balelot, alei asor va'alei navel, alei higayon b'chinor, mizmor shir liyom hashabbat, tov lehodod ladonai, ulzamer lishimcha elyon, ulzamer lishimcha elyon. Od yenuvim b'seva d'shenim brananim yiyu, lehagid ki asher Adonai tzuri v'lo avlatabot.
Turning to page 29, towards the bottom of that paragraph, Mikolot Maim Rabim. Notice Mikolot Maim Rabim, the word Mikolot is the same word as kol. Last night I taught in our Tikkun Leil Shavuot that the children of Israel not only heard the sounds of God at the moment of revelation, but they saw the sounds of God. The impact of revelation was so mystical and remarkable that the senses all were jumbled up. And so people saw sounds, not just heard sounds. This idea of Mikolot appears again in Psalm 29, that it's the waters that we hear. So the two ideas, of course, together mean that there are many ways in which we can hear and experience the sounds of God. Sometimes they are in, I don't know if you heard the sound behind me of the motorcycle going up the street. That was not the sound of God. But in the thunder and crashing of nature, and also the trickling of a brook, and even in the kol dmama daka, in the still small voice. The challenge isn't whether God makes the sound, it is whether we are able to hear in the sounds the voice of God. We certainly hear it in the singing of our chazanim as they lead us in Mikolot Maim Rabim on page 29.
Mikolot Maim Rabim Adirim Ishpereyam Mikolot Maim Rabim Adirim Ishpereyam Adir Bamarom Adonai Adir Bamarom Adonai Adir Bamarom Adonai Adir Bamarom Adonai Mikolot Maim Rabim Adirim Mishpereyam Mikolot Maim Rabim Adirim Mishpereyam Adir Bamarom Adonai Adir Bamarom Adonai Adir Bamarom Adonai Adir Bamarom Adonai Adir Bamarom Adonai
Turning to page 30, those who are on mourning rise for Kaddish Yatom. Yitgadal v'yitkadash merabah.
Amen.
Ve'amad divrach yute ve'amlich malchute b'chayachon v'yomech. Kari v'imru amen.
Amen.
Yehei shmei rabah mevorach le'olam umei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yinaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei d'kudeshah b'richu. Le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tush bechata v'nechamata damiran ve'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Amen.
As we turn to the Baruch Yinaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei d'kudeshah. As we turn to the Baruch on page 39, we're going to rise in a moment, and I want to invite you as we begin our Mariv service to think for a moment about what experience you have had so far on this holiday of Shavuot that you may want to share with us at the end of services. What lesson perhaps you learned last night in our Tikkun, Leil Shavuot, that you might want to share, or an experience that you are hoping to engage in over the next 25 hours for Shabbat, something that you want to bring into your Shabbat experience. So any of those questions we will pose to you at the end of our services. We rise, if you are able, page 39 for the Baruch Hu.
Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
You may be seated.
Umavir yom umevi laila, mavdil ben yom uvein laila, Adonai tziva'ot shemo. El chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim.
Page 40.
Ki hem chayenu v'yorech yameinu, v'hem negei yamam v'layla, v'avatcha tasir mimenu li'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha v'lechtecha v'aderech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha u'kshartam liot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha u'chtabtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha.
We continue silently through the bottom of page 42.
Adonai Elohechem emet.
Join us on page 44 as we sing together Micha Mocha.
ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם משה ומרים ובני ישראל לכנו שירה בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם יאללה 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 מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך נהדר בקודש נורא תהילות עושה פלא נורא תהילות עושה פלא יאללה יאללה מלכותך ראו בניך בוקי הים לפני משה זה אלינו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Continuing with our prayer for peace, the Hashkivenu prayer on page 45.
Here's a melody we taught in our tefillah workshop a few weeks ago.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, לשלום, והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים. ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך. Shelter us beneath your wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. 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 ושמור צאתנו בואנו לחיים ושלום מעתה ועד עולם ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך ברוך אתה אדוני הפורס סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים.
We rise as we turn to page 46 for Vishamru and Vayadaber in honor of Shavuot.
Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasod et ha-Shabbat lidoroton berid olam Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל עוד היא לעולם, כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וידבר משה מועדי אדוני אל בני ישראל. יתגדל ויקדש שמי רבו ביומו דברה קירותי וימליך מלכותי וחייכונו ויומכונו וחיי לכל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבו מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי קודשא בריחו לילה מכל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו amen.
The Amidah is found on page 306. It's recited silently. The Hebrew or the English are a few moments with your own thoughts and prayers at this time. We turn back in our Sidurim to page 54 for Kaddish Shalem.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה בעלמא דברה קירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון ומכון בחיי תכל בית ישראל בגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן.
יהי שמי רבו מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתהלל שמי לקודשא בריחו לעילא מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעלמא ואמרו אמן.
תתקבל צלותינו ואותהון דכל ישראל קודם אבוהון די ושמעי ואמרו
אמן. יהי שלום רב מן שמיים וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום על עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ויאמרו
Before we continue, just by show of hands, how many of you have candlesticks near you that you're ready to light? Okay, so we're going to skip Kiddush and we're going to finish our service. Then we'll go back and we'll light candles and make Kiddush together. So we turn to 56 for Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol lated gdula liyotzer bereshit shelo asanu kigoye haratzot v'lo samanu k'mishpachot hadama shelo sam chelkenu kahem v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam v'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim Lifnei melech machei hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Kakatu b'toratecha, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed, v'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo
Remembering those whose yortzites are this week, the 7th of Sivan to the 13th of Sivan, Ophelia Raquel Bernberg, Anna Bresick, Lawrence Cardoza, Stephanie Clark, Irv Dornfeld, Edward Finkel, Evelyn Fox, Harry Fred, Zita Friedman, Mark Gale, Izzy Gold, Jay Goldberg, Faye Goldman, Nina Berlin Gornitsky, Arthur Greenwald, Jean Grobart, Menachem Hananel, David Horlick, Jesse Johnson, Saul Kopp, Sophie Landis, Gloria Levan, Newton Levin, Moritz Lewin, Roselle Lewis, Lesta Lowe, Barney Manalis, Rose Mantell, Dorothy Meyerson, Severa Rosen, Helen Rosenfeld, Laura Roth, Anita Russell, Susan Patricia Silverman, Bernard Smallson, Louis Tracer, Maureen Wessler, Ethel Wygod, Gussie Winter, Harold Woolgar, Abby Zuckerman, and we recall the death this week of Ronald K. Lipstone, father of Larry Lipstone, father-in-law to Leslie Lipstone. Those in mourning and observing a yahrzeit, page 58. Yitgadal v'yitkadash merabah. Ve'amad divrach yutei ve'amlich malchutei b'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael ba'agalau v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmer rabba mevorach le'olam omei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei d'kudisha b'reichu. La'ela min kol berchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata damiran ve'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. So once again, we want to invite people to come on in for candle lighting and Kiddush. If you need the Zoom meeting number, it's 389-785-237. When you come in, please turn off your live stream and your Facebook. Do we have a volunteer who would like to lead us in the singing of the blessing for the lighting of the candles? Raise your hand. Thank you, Cozy Carl Sanchez family. So I'm going to unmute you. Wait, no, actually, Teresa, you have to unmute yourself. There you go. Okay, everybody get out your candlesticks and your matches as we bring in the Shabbat and this second day of Shavuot. May the light of the candles bring a sense of calm and peace and holiness into our lives.
All right. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav וציוונו להדליק נר ציוונו להדליק נר אל שבת.
And Shel Yom Tov as well, since we have the double joy of Shabbat and the festival of Shavuot. A reminder that tonight is when you light your Yortzeit candle. So if you are remembering a loved one, tonight is the night that you light that candle. Tomorrow morning we are going to be reciting Yizkor during the Torah service. So just as a reminder. Now I see some children and I saw some grandchildren. Rob, I saw you were with your daughter before. The gum binders are coming on as well right now. So if you want to gather those children near you physically, if you have them, and if you don't have children or grandchildren near you physically, let your prayers extend out into the universe so that we bless all our children. And I love the opportunity to find those photographs like the Cohens and the Groners to be able to hold close our dearest children as Jackie and I lead all of us in the blessing for our children.
יברכך אדוני וישמרך.
May the Lord bless you and guard you.
יאר אדוני פניו אליך ויחונקה.
May the Lord shine God's light upon each one of you.
יישא אדוני פניו אליך וישם לך שלום, שלום.
May your life be filled with the deepest sense of peace as we say Amen. So, kids, give your parents a hug and a kiss. Remind them how much you love them, even though you may not say that to them all the time. Parents, the same. Grandparents as well. And everybody else who doesn't have kids near you, extend outwards your love for all of the children of this world. So, Ron, will you lead us in Kiddush? Remember, everybody, it's going to be both Kiddush for the festival with the additions of Shabbat.
Sure. Vayechulu hashamayim v'aretz v'chol tziva'am vayechal Elohim bayom hashvi melachto asher asa vayishbot bayom hashvi mikol melachto asher asa vayivarech Elohim et yom hashivi vayikadesh oto kivo shabbat mikol melachto asher bara Elohim la'asot Savarim ranan baram rabotai Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'char banu mikol am v'romamanu mikol lashon v'kiddishanu b'mitzvotav. Batiten lanu Adonai Eloheinu b'yahava Shabbatot limnucha moedim l'simcha chagim uzmanim l'sason. Et Yom HaShabbat hazeh, v'et Yom HaShag HaShavuot hazeh, Zeman Matan Toratenu, v'Yahava Mikra Kodesh Zecher, Litziat Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'charta, v'yotanu kidashta mikol hamim, בשבת מועדי קודשך ביעבור רצון, בשמחה וששון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש השבת וישראל והזמנים.
And let's sing together, everybody, Shehechianu, or recite it together. Baruch atah
Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Shehechianu, v'kiyamanu, v'higiyanu, lazman hazeh.
May we be blessed to be together for the next of the Shalosh Regalim, so that we can indeed say Shehechianu and share a bottle of wine or grape juice together. L'chaim, everybody.
L'chaim.
So I asked earlier in the service if you had something that you learned from last night at the Tikkun Leil Shavuot, or something special that you did today for Shavuot, or something that you're looking forward to this coming Shabbat. Does anybody want to jump in and share a quick word before we say goodnight to everybody? Or not good night, but Erev Tov. Anybody have anything? Some lesson of Torah that you learned last night, something that you did today particularly meaningful? Yes, Linda. Make sure you unmute, Linda.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Okay. No, I read Rabbi Hanan's Torah.
Torah to go.
Torah to go, excuse me. And it was fascinating, the story about his rabbi and his experiences through the Holocaust, and then his best friend the whole thing. And I read the whole thing, and I thought it was just really, it really touched me.
I told him the other day when we saw each other distantly in the park, I said, you need to put all of your beautiful Torah to goes together and write a book.
Good idea.
God willing, he will have the time in retirement to be able to do that, because he has such wonderful Torah to share with all of us. Anybody else? A moment, Judy.
I learned that we can hear with our eyes and that we can see with our ears during that multisensory conversation last night, and hearing all the music from around the world and bringing cultures together, and through the period of time and space, going through the decades in the last music session, it really brought the whole evening together. And thank you to everyone who worked to put it together. It was really enjoyable and very rewarding. So thank you all who worked so hard to put that together.
Thank you. I realized, thanks to the Cozy Carls, that we forgot to do motzi. So let's grab our challah, and yeah, I forgot because it's not in front of me, it's downstairs. So so grab your challah, and whether you salt it or put honey on it or whatever it is that you do, hold it up so that everybody can see it and smell it, even though we can't taste it. As together, unmute yourself so we can all recite the motzi together. Echad, shtayim, shalosh.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem haaretz.
Amen. B'tei avon, everybody. B'tei avon. We're going to stop live streaming. So for those of you who are watching, we'll see you tomorrow morning, and you'll join us hopefully